Well, hey, folks, it's your guy here. Welcome back to another episode of that thing that we do sometimes on this channel when we're not doing anything. You know what I mean? When we don't not do things. Does that make any sense? No? Okay. This is Saturday, week 4, February 2000, end of the month, which means we'll take a look at all of our businessy things and all the new boys and whatnot. All the new boys coming in at the end of the month after the show, of course. Anything I want to address? 2 comments I can think of off the top of my head. One comment from somebody, and I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. It was like a week ago, maybe. I wasn't at home to record for a while because I've been back at university now, my second semester. It's going all right thus far. I mean, is what it is. University somewhat depresses me. I don't know. I think that's kind of education for most people. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a fun thing. You're expected to do all these things that, then you're going to be judged on. It's not necessarily great. But we get through it. We get through it because we have to, I guess. Hopefully I should sound a little bit better than I had been before. I did a podcast the other week with Putty. We talked about Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. I kind of talked about the duology. The duology, I guess it is. The duology. And Putty kind of just talked about 26 because that's all he'd seen for this kind of go around. He helped me fix my audio. I didn't realize my audio was fucked up, but shout out to Putty for that. On that episode also, he drops a little hint towards something that might be coming in the future. I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it, so don't ask me anything about 2020. Don't ask me. Personally, myself, I don't necessarily know what I plan to do for 2020. That was the other comment. Again, I don't remember who it was. I apologize. But I gotta fix this couch. I just fixed a couch right beside me because I lean on it while I talk. 2020, TEW 2020, that is. We'll see. We'll see what we want to do. I mean, I've got some ideas. If they bring over something in the 80s, I could do that. I could see myself doing like an 80s NWA type idea. Fun fact, I think I teased an 80s NWA thing at the end of me and Putty's brand split for this year. For this year. Yeah, I better not tease anything that I can't necessarily totally pay off on. But I teased, I think, an NWA series, like a Jim Crockett Promotions one, and I recorded the first month of that. I have the first month of those episodes in my computer still, edited. Like, I edited them. That's how in I was on it. I put, like, the intro for the Jim Crockett Promotions TV show on it. But in reality, I don't think I thought about how I was booking it very well. And ultimately, I didn't end up liking it very much. So... What the hell? My dog just, like, he's laying on my bed over here. And he just, like, I don't know, I guess he stretched out and made a whole bunch of weird noises. I was like, what the hell? Yeah. So, fuck. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I don't really know what I want to do. I mean, this has done a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do, to be totally honest. Like, the CCW save is really, like, a lot of what I really wanted to do. And I'm not even really going to get probably to where I wanted to. Because, like, the CCW save, I wanted to go deep with it. So, if we could get maybe, like, another kind of historic save that I could run even deeper with. Because, like, what we did... When did we start this? Maybe 2018? We did about 3 years. I guess we've done about 2. I guess we've done about 2 years and 2. Or maybe 1 and a bit now. Maybe it's 2 now, actually. I don't even know. But I could have been more consistent with that. There were definitely points in the series this past kind of summer, especially, where kind of basically this entire year, where I've been needing to adjust to new schedules and new kind of expectations on myself, between working, because sadly YouTube doesn't pay the bills yet. We're gonna cross our fingers that the flourishing TEW audience of all 2,000 of you. Anyways, I do appreciate you folks, but it's just not a reality. You know what I mean? It's not something that could happen. So working, keeping somewhat of a social life, as much of an introvert as I am, keeping somewhat of a social life in the real world and on here with the boys. Shout out the boys. And then, obviously school, when it's around, is a huge, thing. Even just for this year, because, of course, living in residence or whatever, it's not so much I'm an ashamed thing, but I wouldn't want to. There are moments of this series where I need to have certain cadences, or when I cut promos or something like that. I just wouldn't want to bother the other people, because I do live with 2 other people currently, in an apartment style, where I have a small little room off of a main room, and we're all pretty much next to each other, and the walls are pretty damn thin, uncomfortably thin. If you're on a Discord call with somebody, I can hear you, you can hear me. It just is what it is. You just gotta live with it. So yeah, that's why I don't record there. I think I talked about that early on in the year, but that's why school this year especially has been kind of tough. Next year it could be a lot easier, because maybe I won't be doing as much back and forth. I already know who I'm going to be living with next year, so we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see kind of what the setup ends up like, and I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know. Something, of course, that would make that much easier would be having somebody to do a series with, right, to keep you motivated, to keep you going, because when you're doing a series on your own, it's difficult, you know what I mean, to keep motivation. You really have to want to see it go through, especially when there's not necessarily any big milestones coming. I get closer to the middle of the year with ECW, and we're kind of just not so much going through the motions, but there's nothing. It's not like November to Remember is there, or there's kind of a stretch of 3 months or so without any pay-per-views before October, and then November has a pay-per-view as well. Of course, November to Remember, and then October is Anarchy Rules, I believe. So no, maybe it's not Anarchy Rules. I don't remember what it is. But anyways, yeah, there's kind of that down period where it's very easy for me to lose motivation, and that kind of sucks. I'll stop boring you now. I've talked for 8 minutes about random garbage. Basically, TEW 2020. Don't necessarily know what I want to do. Maybe another historic thing. Something where I could work with character more. Because I think I've done an alright job at working with character in here. But I'd like to really heavily work with character. Sit down and, draft shit. I know that sounds like a lot of work. It's more work than almost anybody else probably puts in for TEW, and I'm not even trying to, flex my muscle there. I don't mean to sound any kind of way with that. I just genuinely believe not a lot of people sit down and, write out what they're going to do and have these ideas and these plans. The only people I could think of are, I know Putty does that. He always did that. He was fucking phenomenal at that shit. And then another guy... I need to think of his channel name. It's rebooking. It's rebooking something. I saw his channel a while ago and it blew me the fuck away. It was I thought I was the only person in TW doing this. They're kind of storytelling type ideas, but this guy has full on videos that are I think an hour or so long, monthly, where he does a creative meeting where he just talks about storylines and what's going through his head and stuff like that. It's really great to watch, because it's kind of what I would like to see from TW. It's not so much a game. It's more about telling stories, or, you know what I mean, kind of doing whatever. And of course, you can still play it as a game. I'm not demonizing anybody who's playing this as a game. TW is ultimately a game, but if you're doing it on YouTube, throw some flair in it, maybe. I don't know. At least to me, I like stats. I really like stats. I like stats and numbers and organization and stuff like that. I'm weird like that. I have folders like I like when I rate wrestling, because I do rate wrestling. Putty started me on that. I take a lot of shit from Putty, if you haven't noticed. Dude has been somewhat influential on my life. Changed the way I looked at a lot of things. Thanks, Putty. He won't watch this. He doesn't watch this. But yeah, when I rate wrestling, I do like company, match, event, type of match, title, then rating. You know what I mean? It's very, very strict, if that makes any sense. Anyways, I'm going to jump into this before I ramble on for another 10 minutes. This is the Binghamton Event Center, not Binghamton's Event Center, Binghamton Events Center in the tri-state region. We're expecting about 7.25, right? 7.25K? Yeah, 7.25K fans tonight. I don't know why, but like I couldn't think about like numbers there for a second. I'm just ready to hop into this, because this could be a pretty decent episode. Opening up with an 88B plus. Taz is in the ring, and he's basically just talking about, what a great success the event. Hold on, maybe I can. What event was it last night? CyberSlam, right. What a great event CyberSlam. Oh, that's loud. What a great event CyberSlam was, and he's got a new challenger. That he does. And for whom the bells toll. Jesus Christ, Tucker, speak. And Abyss comes out with Percy Pringle. Abyss, of course, won a fatal four-way dance last week, at CyberSlam. Okay, the timeline for this is so weird, because my shows are recorded on Saturday in game, and they're shown on Friday, so technically they're like a week after the pay-per-view, but I just do it as a go home because I don't care. Like, I just don't care. Anyways, so he beat out Jeff Hardy, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Steve Corino. And so he comes down to the ring, and Percy Pringle basically tells Taz that he's fucked. He's fucked, man. He opened up the opportunity for a monster like Abyss, and now Abyss is going to come in and fucking destroy everything Taz worked for. You know what I mean? Dude's worked a long time. He's very good. And Percy makes sure to say, Taz, you're very good, but you're not Abyss. You're not a monster. You're not that big. You're not that tall. You're not that violent. You can't do it. You can't beat Abyss. And Taz squares up with Abyss, and Taz is looking up at Abyss. And Taz holds up his belt. You know what I mean? We get that nice little shot of the two of them eye to eye, and Taz just puts the mic up to his mouth, kind of, while still staring up at Abyss, and just says, "I'm bigger." And that's your opening segment. I thought of that like weeks ago, that visual of Taz and Abyss squaring up, Taz just defiantly looking at this killing machine and just, "I'm bigger." You can take that to feel however you want. You can take that in however you want. Anyways, opening up tonight's tag team match. 78B minus, good shit. And about that, Great Wrestling, but damn much heat. The Suicide Blondes defeat the Dudley Boys in 10-24 when Christian Cage defeated Devon Dudley by pinfall. The Suicide Pact. Good shit. Good shit here from the Tag Boys. Another great match. Suicide Blondes building momentum. They beat a pretty top contender. I mean, the Dudleys were on a bit of a roll there. We thought they might be in place to be number one contenders after the Stormtroopers, now that their bid has kind of fallen through. And now the Dudleys have kind of fallen through. It might be Suicide Blondes. We haven't really seen very much from the Hardys. Jeff's kind of been focusing on singles stuff, obviously. We heard Sexton cut a promo the other week where he said that he was dedicated to going after the tag team belts with Christian still. Yeah, looking at names, not many other tag teams really that could step up and challenge. The FBI are kind of busy with Rhino. The Gangstanators are a joke. The Can-Am Express are jobbers. Yeah, you might be looking at your number one contenders, folks, just kind of by process of elimination. But we're not going to follow up on that too quickly. We're actually going to cut backstage to the Sandman and Woman. And they're going to respond to Chris Jericho. If you remember last week, Chris Jericho said that basically the Sandman had attacked him twice, and Sandman said it was for the means of, pointless violence, unmitigated violence, unwarranted violence, almost, if you will. And so Jericho questioned that and said, you've attacked me twice. That's not unwarranted. You know what I mean? That's a target. And Sandman starts off this promo by simply just saying, "Hey, Chris, you got me. You're right. I was targeting you. I mean, it's kind of obvious. I did attack you twice. Good job, buddy. You can put two and two together. Even my stoned out, drunk brain could think that one. But, there is a reason, always. Always a reason, even in pointless violence." And he starts smoking a cigarette as Woman takes over the promo. And she says, ultimately, we couldn't get the job done against Taz. We couldn't take the ECW World title. And that's fine, because Taz is a tough son of a bitch, all right? There's no real shame in that. They'll admit it, all right? Sandman is nothing but honest. I guess nothing, if not honest, nothing but honest. Except for he did lie, so there you go. Heel shenanigans, I guess. I don't know. She basically says that Sandman and her decided that if they couldn't take out the champion, they'd take out the big name, the big star, the guy who's shown up all of a sudden and is touted by everybody as one of the best workers in the world. And what's a better way to get your name out there than by brutalizing him, by ending the legend of Chris Jericho before it even really gets started? Because let's be honest, Chris, you've been nothing but a walking disappointment since you started wrestling. Rhino makes his way to the ring in a segment just called Rhino, because here we go for this handicap match. It does. Okay, and about that, a decent wrestling but didn't much heat. Rhino defeated the FBI in 8:30 when Rhino defeated Tracy Smothers by pinfall to Gore. Good shit here. Rhino's already starting to get kind of better at in-ring performing. This is straight up what you expect it to be. The FBI try to use their numbers advantage, but Rhino's too strong. He's got this animalistic rage about him that you just can't really contain. Maybe, just maybe, if they had one more guy, they would be able to do it. Oh, wait, don't the FBI have 3 people? More on that next week. And yeah, Rhino just picks up the victory by, he shoves Guido out of the way or something like that, and hits Smothers with a Gore. And kind of while Guido was still stunned, he picks up the victory. Yeah, good shit. 86B plus here, as Shane Douglas is backstage with the FBI, kind of in their private, or the FBI, the Triple Threat in their kind of private locker room area. And so they basically say, or Douglas does for that matter, that, they failed, right? Lance and Chris failed. There's no way to get around it, but that's fine because they've got a new objective. They're going to help Shane Douglas climb back to the top of the mountain, right? He tried to help them become tag team champions. It didn't work because, let's be honest, the two of them maybe just aren't that good. But he is. Shane Douglas is the man. He's the franchise. And so he, ultimately, is destined for the mountaintop. He will be there again, and Lance Storm and Chris Candido are going to help him do it. We get a promo here. Kurt Angle comes out, and he says, "Unfortunately, again, I have nobody to defend this title with. Nobody will step up now this week, so nobody has said anything to me, so I'm going to go home again, bye." And as he's starting to walk up our kind of ramp area, Balls Mahoney cuts him off, and he says, "I'll fight you." Kurt's like, "Oh, I mean," Balls is like, no, I'm going to fight you. And he kind of wards Angle back to the ring, right? Because Balls is a big man. And yeah, we've got an impromptu television title match right here on TV. This does quite fucking well. Good shit, Kurt. You're phenomenal. And about that, good wrestling and decent action to the crowd. Kurt Angle defeated Balls Mahoney in 7:35. That's a 5. By pinfall with an Angle slam. Kurt Angle makes defense number 8 of his ECW World Television titles. This match ultimately is kind of built around Kurt Angle being the smaller, better tactical wrestler, if you will. Like he's a better tactician, obviously, in the ring. He's been an Olympic gold medalist. He knows what he's doing. So he's in there with a bigger guy, something that necessarily wouldn't happen in the Olympics, but Kurt Angle is smart, right? He's a smart performer. He's able to break people down sometimes when he's not able to just, totally out-wrestle them. He can slowly work them down. And so that's what he does. He slowly starts to avoid Balls' power moves, kind of baits Balls into attacking in different ways, kind of allows Balls to, I don't want to say use weapons, but he will kind of bait him into using weapons, then use them against him. Not necessarily using the weapons, because Kurt isn't totally like a hardcore wrestler, but he's not against it. You know what I mean? Wrestling is wrestling. But eventually, we kind of get this spot where Kurt kind of breaks out of that. What's the word I'm looking for? He breaks kind of out of that style of being the smaller guy working the bigger man as he lifts Balls up for an angle slam. Great big power spot, showcasing the fact that Angle isn't only smart and a great tactician, he's also pretty damn strong for his size. We've got the continuation of the Jerry Lynn Tommy Dreamer angle. So Tommy Dreamer and Jerry Lynn kind of enter into a building, and inside the building, it's just a wrestling ring. That's all that it is. And Dreamer looks over at Jerry and he says, I don't get it. And Jerry looks at Tommy and he says, you see, that's the problem. Get in the fucking ring. And so Dreamer gets into the ring. And Jerry follows him. And Jerry looks at him and he says, lock up. Oh, Jesus, here we go. We're finally ending this amazing angle that I started in January. It's so fucking good. Mikey Whipwreck is going to get a match. Oh my God. So a settlement has been made. Mikey Whipwreck will help Paul Heyman fix his desk. Because none of them have any money to buy a new desk. They just have to build one. It's just is what it is. None of them are good at it. Christy Miss will help as well. The gang out here builds a desk. And in return, Mikey Whipwreck is going to get a match. And it has been specified. Mikey Whipwreck is proud to announce that he will be getting a television championship match at the Living Dangerously pay-per-view? Yes, the Living Dangerously pay-per-view. Good shit. Main event time. It's just an exhibition match. 81B does quite well. But then good wrestling, decent extra crowd. Rob Van Dam defeats Chris Candido in 15:44 by pinfall with a 5-star frog splash. I didn't build to this. I didn't need to. You know what I mean? It's just two guys who are pretty decent workers going out there. I mean, Rob is a really great worker, and Candido, who is not bad. The two of them go out there, work a pretty damn good match, if I do say so myself. Great stuff from Van Dam. He picks up a victory, keeps his momentum rolling as he's squaring a challenge against Raven and his nest down in the face. And we get a 99A to go off the air. RBD says, Raven, Punk, Daniels, the three of you, you know what I mean? You're running circles around me. You really are. You really have got me. I'll be honest. But I don't care. I'm Rob Van Dam. I'm the whole fucking show. I'm Mr. Saturday Night. Or I guess it's Mr. Friday Night because the shows air on Friday, but they're taped on Saturday, so I don't really know. Weird. Anyways, Rob just says, I'm not fucking scared of any of you. I'm going to throw down a challenge right now. Right fucking now. I want to fight you guys, both of you, Daniels and Punk. I don't care if it's a handicap match. I'll take it. I saw a handicap match earlier tonight, and it seemed like the one guy did pretty well against the tag team. So who says I can't do the same? Something, Rob Van Dam is the whole fucking show. There you go. There's your show. We get an 86B plus up in 7. Good shit. There's actually a bit of a scare off screen. Of course, you guys didn't see it. That's why it was off screen. I went on to I went on to book this show, I want to say last weekend even, because I'd been putting this off for a little while. I've been bad at that. But anyways, I've been putting this off, and I went to open the save, and oh my god, the save was corrupted. And I took a heart attack, because I don't know why, but I feel like people talk about their saves corrupting all the time. It doesn't happen that much to me. But literally all that I hit was game recovery, and it worked. So I was just like, oh, okay. So yeah, we drew about 7.5 thousand fans. It's been an excellent show. Good shit. All Japan. Did we do better than All Japan this week? We had a better show than All Japan. Oh, that's because All Japan had a double count out. Fucking All Japan. Okay. Cool. Let's go one more day, see if we make a profit, see if we don't, as we enter March 2000. That's crazy. We're already, well, we will be at the end of March. We'll be a fourth of the way through the year. Wow, God, time flies in TW when you're barely booking and you don't really remember what time it is. But January went fast. And this first kind of part of February has. I kind of book to an event. I get momentum building to an event, and then I will book to that, and then that's that, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, no. Yeah. I wish I had more to say to kill time, but I don't. There we go. Okay, lit. I don't have to bother. What did Heat do? Just so I can check it. Nothing. Your spoiler. Nothing. Who the fuck is the Cheetah Kid again? Oh, I forgot. That's Rocco Rock. Oh my god. Jesus. So literally, apparently, nothing's going on. We made a loss of about $14,000, but that's very small compared to what we have been losing in the past. I think that's because I cut down a lot of worker costs. The show costs are down because I guess I didn't run a pay-per-view. We're making more from sponsors than we did the previous month for some reason. Merchandising was down. I guess because those numbers fluctuate, but that month was really down. That's weird. Ticket sales were down. Pay-per-view revenue, of course, we didn't have any. But that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll take, what? Oh my god, my dog just made a noise. Just go back to bed. Little bastard. I guess big bastard, actually. He's a big boy. Yeah, we'll have to evaluate this, because this is interesting. Because we were making profit until about August, and then we've kind of been in the negative kind of this whole run here until January this year. Now February, we're only slightly in the negative. It'll be weird. We're going to have to see where that goes. Check our popularity really quick. We're in a 71. We're almost a B- in the tri-state, and then we're at a C in the southeast. So, you know, that's feeling pretty fucking good. Won't lie. Feeling pretty fucking good. Let's check out some new workers. I'm going to not take a look up, hopefully, and surprise myself. March... story type. Where is it? New workers. Okay. Oh. I would love to have him, but I don't think he fits. I mean, he's got an alright hardcore rating, which is fucking weird, because he's not my prototypical hardcore wrestler, but he could, in theory, be pretty good. He's a really bad influence, though, but fuck it, I'll put him on the short list just to track him. Trish is somebody who we definitely should keep an eye on, even if she never wrestles for us. She looks good, and that's all that matters. And then Reno. I actually do know Reno, because he's this guy. Yeah, I don't necessarily know what I know him from. I guess he was on WCW near the end. I just remember being a shit worker, but he's okay looking, if I'm not wrong. His star quality? Oh, maybe not. Oh, I'm wrong. Never mind. He's got no value. Ignore. That's a pretty quiet month in terms of debuts. Holy shit. I mean, it's 2 big debuts, a small one, and, like, there are some months where we get tons of people debuting, and it's, like, nothing. But anyways, that'll be that for me, actually. It's been about half an hour. Wow, that's a crazy amount of time to be recording and not really realize it. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you all in the next one. This is Silly Tuck, signing out.